Have you ever heard of such a thing?
No, that's the first I've heard of it. Not saying that I haven't had a few briskies and thought, boy, it'd be cool to have a cannon.
Yeah.
But I never thought about stealing one and cutting it up for scrap.
Yeah, this was like national news. This was like on Fox News and stuff.
Oh,
It said
yeah.
that they had they commandeered this cannon in Cuba during the Spanish American War back in 1898, and it got gifted to the governor of Kansas at the time, and it had just been sitting there in Wichita for 125 years.
It's crazy to me, like, obviously this is idiot, but like something that, like, it's cool. Like, not just the value of it, but like the history of it is, why is it sitting in a park in a town full of fucking meth heads? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that you should expect somebody to steal it, but when a lot of meth is involved, somebody would have. I can't believe somebody didn't hit it with their vehicle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get, like, you want people to see it. That's cool. I do too. But like, just to have it just sitting in the park like a bench. In fact, somebody hadn't spray painted on it. Being in the city of Wichita is unbelievable to me because we apparently spray paint everything all the way down to our Catholic churches now.
Yeah,
You see that deal?
I did.
It's sad, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's just like Teddy Roosevelt could have looked at that very cannon, and they saved it, and then 125 years, some complete low life waste of space just destroys it.
Teddy Roosevelt probably killed a polar bear with that fucking thing.
I know.
I'm a huge Teddy Roosevelt fan. He's probably my favorite.
He was a pretty badass guy. He really was.
And then he's got that. I really like. It's all kind of gone to shit because it's 200 years old. But all those mounts up there at Meeker, Colorado, in that old hotel, because that's where he used to stay, like up there when he was hunting. It's cool. A lot of cool stuff there.
I've been watching Deadwood on HBO again. I've watched it years prior, and it doesn't really say it, but years after like the show takes place, Seth Bullock and Teddy Roosevelt became really good friends.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just crazy to think like how lawless that place was, and the characters and the people there, and to think that Teddy Roosevelt would have been, he wasn't in Deadwood, but he would have been close around in that country not 2 years after the show's taken place, you know?
Right.
I mean, he ran into some of those kind of people.
Yeah.
And I'll guarantee you, if they got too rough with him, they didn't like him either.
No, he wasn't gonna take no shit off nobody. He didn't give a shit who you thought you were. Yeah. He was the real deal, man. That guy was something.
And he was born like very, very wealthy, very, wealthy family in New York City, sickly child, and then goes on to do all the amazing things that he did. He just had a great tenacity,
Yeah, it's one of those things that, like, it wouldn't have mattered what, like, economic line he was born. He was going to be successful. That guy could have been born to a woman with 17 kids and 2 nickels to rub together. He was going to be a success. Like, he's just one of those people. It didn't matter. He was going to make it. Mm-hmm. Granted, he got to do even greater things because he was born with money and got to do things that, but he didn't. He was going to be successful. It didn't matter. That guy he's as bad as they come.
Well, just imagine like in 1883, 84, a big reason why he left is because his, his mom and his first wife died. His first wife died in childbirth with his oldest daughter, and then his mom died like the same exact day. So he lost his mom and his wife on the same exact day, and he basically was just like, I gotta go away. I gotta get out. I gotta get out of here. And he went. A guy that lived in New York City his whole life, he just leaves and goes to North Dakota to be a cattle rancher.
Yeah.
In 1883.
Right. That's not like today. Like, no, dude, it doesn't get any tougher than that. Like, it takes the gonads to do that. Like, that's for real. And didn't quit, didn't get through the first winter and was like, I'm taking my stay back. No, he stuck it out. I mean, did it. Flat out did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we were talking about that, the rings on the trees and the drought and all that. And that blizzard, there was a horrific blizzard in like 1886 or 1887, something like that. in the Midwest, and it killed like all of his cattle. It killed like everybody's cattle in 1887 or whatever it was, and that was like a reason why he was like, well, I guess I better go back to New York City. You know, it killed like 90%. It was some ungodly number, the amount of cattle that it killed that blizzard.
Yeah. I mean, but like also thankful for that blizzard, because where would we be? Like, you know what I mean? Like butterfly effect, right? That blizzard doesn't happen. He just stays to himself for the rest of his life. Like, you know, you don't get all the other stuff. So it's one of those things, like it was a horrible thing, like altering the flow of the Fall River for the rest of eternity, but it turned into something great for the rest of us.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to break a few eggs to make an omelet.
Right. And he broke some eggs, let me tell you. Broke a handful of them.
It wasn't them damn plastic Easter eggs neither.
No, these are real hard eggs.
That was some good duck eggs he was
Dude,
breaking.
he broke hard-boiled eggs and turned them into scrambled. That's what that guy did, okay? I mean, real Chuck Norris before Chuck Norris. He turned hard-boiled eggs into scrambled eggs. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah. God bless you, Teddy. God bless you.
God bless you, man. There's an old story about a man. I can't remember his name. And he's told me he was an old houndsman back in the day. And he lived off this is crazy. He had his hounds and he hunted lions and bears and stuff like that for people back in the day before government trappers and stuff up in the mountains. And he just woke up one day, like about our age, had a family, a wife, and kids, and just said, I can't do it no more. I can't live in civilization. So that's it. And he just got up and he took his hounds and he lived in the mountains. And the only time anybody ever saw him was you just, like, either you saw him on your land passing through. He'd track lions and bears for days. Like, he would hunt them for days, walking. He just walked everywhere he went. But, like, once every few months, he'd come to town and buy him a bag full of corn. And, like, he would buy, like, field corn. He didn't want sweet corn. He'd just buy field corn on the cob. And the only thing he ever lived off of was the meat of the animals he killed. And he'd eat about 8 or 10 kernels every night, a handful of corn. He'd eat it like jerky. That was it.
When was this?
I wish I could remember the years. I just text Travis trying to get the details. I can't remember. He's got a book on him. I want to read it someday. I've never read it, but he's a badass. And they wrote a book. This author found him, guy that was like wanted to write a book about him. So he never, like, he hated civilization, hated it. This is probably, I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't want to misquote, but I want to guess like 100 years ago, like hotels and things like that were a thing, right? This might even be less than that. It might have been 75 years ago. So we're talking electricity. All that shit existed, you know. And so this guy says, I want to pay for your hotel, your food. I want you to come stay in town for a month. I want you to tell me all these stories of these bears. Like, one of the bears, he tracked a bear for like 45 days. Same bear. Him and his dogs before they finally caught it. Because bears are notorious. Like, even to this day, they'll just like... So when a hound, the way it trees the animal, right? Trees a lion. It trees a bear and gets him up in the tree, and then that allows the hunter to catch up, to catch him. And bears are notorious for they just won't tree. They'll just walk. The dogs might be 10 feet behind them, but all they do is just walk. Because, like, if a dog tries to bite them, they'll just turn around and hit them or whatever, you know. And eventually they'll just walk a dog to death. They'll just continue to walk, and the dog will just kill over or pass out from just exhaustion. So he apparently, story is, he tracked a bear for like 45 days through the mountains. And finally, the bear denned up, and he caught him. And he has stories, like he had endless stories like this. So this guy says, I want to write a book about you. I want to write a book of your stories. You just sit down, you just tell me the stories. I'll write it all. So he says, I rented out this hotel for a month. All your meals will be paid for or whatever, And he says that, like, the first week he tried to eat food and he couldn't eat it because he'd lived off nothing but mountain lions and bears his whole, like, for 20 years. He'd been living in the mountains and corn. And he says he goes to see him in his hotel room one evening. And he says he goes in there and the bed is against the wall. Like all the mattress and everything is turned up against the wall and all the windows are fucking open and the air is turned off. And he says, what are you doing? He says, I can't sleep inside. This is as close as I can come. He's just laying on the floor. No blanket, no nothing, just sleeping on the floor and all the windows and everything open. He said, it's summertime. It's 110 out here. And he said, that's the only way I can sleep. I can't sleep inside. But yeah, he just one day, just like that.
That's like those crazy ass people that'll go up into the bush in Alaska and live like that.
Yeah. That's the only place you can still do like what he did to this day. But yeah, it's cool. He has a lot of stories. Like he was a huge, like, I think, you know, Ben Lilly was the guy's name.
Ben Lilly.
Yeah. He was born in 1856 and died in 1936.
Wow.
Yeah. He was born in Alabama and he died in New Mexico. But he was all over the mountains up there. Colorado, Utah, Mexico. He just wandered.
I'll tell you what, the toughest people of all time had to have been those fur trappers and mountain men from the 1820s, 30s, Hugh Glass. That's an incredible story. Jim Bridger, Kit Carson, people like that. They don't come any tougher than them people.
No, that is for real. I mean, that is like one mistake and you die. Like legitimately. You know what I mean? Like nobody even knows you died. Like you just don't show up. But yeah, that dude was a bad man too. I mean, he's kind of not because he also just like abandoned his wife and kids. But yeah, because like he would just like say a rancher had a problem with lions killing its calves or whatever, He'd be like, all right. At that time, it'd be like $2 if I catch the lion. And they'd give him $2, and then he'd just go in town and buy him a handful of ear of corn, and then he'd go to the next one, and then that's all he ever did. Sell his furs.
That's insane. I mean, I get why people want to, enjoy the outdoors and live a little bit more off the grid, but to truly be that level of just given completely up on everything, that's definitely schizophrenia.
Yeah, there's something there, like to just like lose it, like some days I feel like civilization is, but not to just completely abandon everything.
I kind of like that electricity a little bit,
It's pretty neat. We've gotten soft and used to it, obviously, but yeah.
Speaking of technology, we're going to come back to these stories that millennials and, Gen Z and all these other people just really love. Bill Belichick.
Oh, Bill.
What is going on there, Till?
I don't know, buddy, but she must be good at whatever she does. I can tell you that.
She's a damn, like a witchy woman or something going on there.
I'm just saying, 150 years ago, she probably gets burned. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Let's be honest. I don't know that witches are real, but she gets burned 150 years ago.
Well, let's play this video.
Got a good one for me, huh? Yeah, you want old Chooch Bell to hear it because she's deaf and a doornail. I don't know. 99's pretty ridiculous. I want to keep my eardrums just because she can't hear doesn't mean I want.
75. You like 75?
Yeah, that's fine. We'll find out in a minute.
Jordan Hudson, everybody.
Jordan. It's not Jordan, it's Jordan.
Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that?
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
No?
No.
It's a topic neither one of them is comfortable commenting on.
Look at those eyes, dude.
Dude, they'd kill if they could, buddy. I'm laughing at the fact that he's a multimillionaire, right? Wearing a $25 Navy hoodie with a rip in it. Looks like he got in a fight with a fucking bear. And this 95-pound, how old is she?
24
24-year-old says, we're not talking about it. And he just says, okay.
Dude, he doesn't even wear a North Carolina shirt.
No.
He's the head coach of the North. I think that this is going to be a disaster. I mean, he might win some games, but in terms of who was a better fit for the North Carolina Tar Heels at the college level, Mac Brown was a hell of a lot better coach than I think Bill Belichick's going to be.
Dude, I don't understand why I don't get that. Mac Brown, was it time for Mac Brown to go at Texas? Yes.
Absolutely.
That's how the cycle works, right? Complacency, blah, 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 blah. But, dude, if I was a fan of any university still today, hell, that was fucking 20 years ago that he won a championship. But if I was a fan of any university other than, the top 4 or 5 that got coaches, they said, Mac Brown's I'd be like, dude, that guy's got it. Hell, look what he did with North Carolina. They have no recruiting ability, as a school. I don't care who you are. When you show up at, almost any of the SEC schools, you show up at Oregon, you have a recruiting. You could be the world's worst recruiter. You're going to have the ability to recruit some players that North Carolina never has a shot at. You know what I mean? And he made something of that school.
Yeah, and people forget that he was there before Texas. He was there from 88 to 97 and made them somewhat relevant. So everything that happened between, 90s, his Texas years, North Carolina was still, they were up and down, but
Right.
all of that was off of Matt Brown's foundation that he had laid. What's Bill Belichick and Jordan going to do to up that? Because I'll guarantee you, Bill Belichick doesn't give a shit about North Carolina. He just gives a shit about a whole bunch of $2 bills.
Dude, he likes some twos. He's like old Uncle Dave. He likes some $2 bills. He's rolling in them. But, I still, that doesn't make any sense to me. I get, publicity stunts or what. But that doesn't win football games. It doesn't. And I'm not saying he's a bad coach.
No.
But if anybody's going to be complacent or okay with where they are in the
Yeah, it's a big distraction. I don't know. I've been actually kind of following this quite a bit. Not that I give a damn about Jordan or Bill, but that I would feel offended as a North Carolina fan to see this interview. He doesn't even have a North Carolina shirt on. He's not repping. He is the face of your program.
Right.
And nobody's talking about North Carolina. They're talking about this geezer and his girlfriend. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It is bad look for North Carolina. All in all, no matter how you look at it, it's not good. And I don't know. I think anybody that does it's harder to do, obviously, in football because of the 3-year rule. But this, I'll get you ready for the pros thing. It never works, man. It doesn't. You need to make guys ready for college football. I get, that's how you sell it to them, right? I'm going to get you pro ready. But the money's not even in the pros anymore. There's way more money to be had as a good college football player. Look at these. Look what happened to yours. He turned down $8 million to go make a few $100,000.
Yeah.
Whatever, do your own thing. But I'm just saying, the money's not in the pros anymore. So this whole it's not one and done, but the pro ready deal, I don't think it works. I just don't think it works at the college level. It's a totally different game.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't really want to go down this rabbit hole, but Ewers, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of respect him. He could have made a whole hell of a lot more money staying, transferring NIL, but he said that he wanted to play in the NFL. That was his dream. He went and did it. So I do respect him for that. Not like these other gunsels that are 28. Carson Beck. I'm going to go to Miami. I'm the worst quarterback in the SEC, but I'm going to go make $8 million at Miami. Get the fuck out of here.
But he did embrace the Miami life.
Yeah.
He had one of the hottest girlfriends, influencer-wise, cheated on her with a nice little Latino woman down there.
Yeah.
That's Miami.
That's Miami, man. But anyway, yeah, Bill, it really seems that he's making it about she is making it about them.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know that he's doing it, but he needs to understand that this isn't the NFL. You don't have a bunch of adults working for you. How are these 21-year-old dudes that you're trying to recruit going to respect a 73-year-old man already, but a 73-year-old man who's getting bossed around by a 24-year-old woman who's never
Right.
done anything?
Right. No, I'm with you. Like, everybody thought, oh, she's going to help recruit, like, jokingly, right? Because she's hot and 24 or whatever. But, like, there's no good way about it, right? Like, I don't know. It's not going to work out for him. There's no way it works out. Because even if you don't even just take the drama, right? The whole drama out of it. What was everything he ever did built on? Mentality and your ability to understand the game as a 30-year-old adult, right? He had, you know what I mean? Like, even his defenses, the reason they worked was because they were so advanced. And you had, you know, your Teddy Bridgewaters and these guys that were just unbelievable minds of the football game. And I'm not saying there's not a few of them in college, but how many 18-year-olds are going to be able to decipher what's going on like, you know, a 30-year-old Teddy Bridgewater? That's just not going to happen, right? But
You're Teddy Bruschi?
Bruschi, not Bridgewater, Bruschi.
Yeah.
Teddy Bruschi. But you know what I mean? Like, that guy was the Albert Einsteins of defenses. Like, that's not going to work in college.
Mm-hmm.
You got a bunch of kids that, yeah, they love the game, but they're also liking the party Saturday night too. So, like, just the way he coaches is just not going to work. That boot camp lifestyle, that's not going to work. Does he try to change? Maybe. Is he going to work? Even if he tries to change, no, because that's the reason he got out of the NFL is because the NFL wasn't that way anymore. He couldn't coach guys like that. Guys just quit him. College guys are just going to quit him.
Mm-hmm.
You're never going to get 100% of the guys to buy in the system. Like, that's when it works, right? That's what works at Georgia. That's what worked so long at Alabama. 100% of the guys bought into the system. You know, why did Saban get out when he did? You can't sell 100% of the guys on that system anymore. And it just takes one out of 52, 55, whatever it is. And it don't work. I mean, that's just what it boils down to.
Yeah. I respect them trying to make a big splash hire, but I just don't see it. I'm not saying that they're going to be a cellar dweller. I mean, the ACC is not that strong of a conference anyway, but I just don't see where this ends well, because at what point I'm already seeing North Carolina officials saying, like, you can't have her in the spotlight. Like, this is taken away.
She's at practice.
Yeah, she's answering his emails.
Yeah. She's at practice telling him what to do.
Yeah, what do you know about a play? Do you even know what a play action pass is?
Right. But she's telling him what to do at practice. Like, I need you over here right now to look at this. At practice. How is that? I mean,
I never was a Patriots fan, but I always did respect Bill Belichick, and a big reason why I respected him was because of the way he carried himself. And now it's like, I don't know if it's like this late life crisis or what the hell, but he's just like, it's all out the window now, you know?
and how he took no shit. He took Randy Moss, of all people, and told him, we play it my way or we play it no way. That's, all people. And he took no shit, didn't care. He said, I like the way you play, but if you're going to come here. Because, like, there was a thing about talking about before they traded for him or whatever, And Belichick called and told him, he said, hey, this is the deal. We're going to play my way or don't, and tell me now. Because we'll, stop this trade. And he's like, no, I'm going to play. But this 24-year-old is going to tell him where, when, what he can talk about. That's a huge difference. Unbelievable difference.
Yeah. And I don't know what it is about her. It's just like those eyes. That looks like an evil woman right there. Just an evil woman.
I'm telling you, like, that's a witch. 100%.
Yeah. Well, we're shifting our love from the people of Ark City to the people of North Carolina now. First, you get the hurricane, and then you got Jordan. Jordan needs to be Jorgon.
Yeah,
I always hated North Carolina for the longest time because of Roy Williams, but we don't need to go down that rabbit hole.
No,
I still hate you, Roy Williams.
I hate you, Michael Crabtree. F you.
one last main thing I wanted to talk about. We're at an hour and 3 minutes.
Yeah, we're cooking them.
We have to lend our voice to this.
Okay.
The viewers want to know.
What do I know?
What does Red think? 100 men versus one gorilla.
Dude, the gorilla, it wins, dude. Wins 100% of the time.
Who started this? You know, this is really going around on the Twitter and stuff.
I think it was on some podcast somewhere, and some idiots were arguing about it. But, dude, it's not even an argument to me.
I
no
mean,
weapons, bare hands. Dude, that gorilla's going to eat a ham sandwich, smoke a cigarette while it beats the fuck out of 100 people. I don't think people they're like, oh, they're not. Dude, I don't think they understand how strong they are. This is a story from a guy, right? But this guy I used to work for, his dad laid masonry in St. Louis. He was a masonry. And he got a contract to do work at the St. Louis Zoo. This was 50 years ago, right? And he said they had a great big silverback gorilla there, big male. And in his cage, they had one of them great big tire swings out of a tractor tire. Like, 60-inch rimmed fucking tire, right? Great big. They're fucking 4 inches thick rubber. And he said that guy was laying bricks for an exhibit next to it. And he said anytime, it was supposed to be, it was a swing for him, right? Like he could get in and swing. It's big enough to hold this great big fucking girl up when he swings. And he said anytime like a hot woman or, a semi-attractive woman or something he found would walk by, he'd take that fucking tire, grab it at each end and fold it like a fucking taco. Like fucking 15 times. Like you and I fold a fucking tortilla shell. Dude, fuck you if you think 100 men are taking that on.
Yeah, who would even think of such a preposterous thing?
Right. No, dude, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Like, do you have a flamethrower? Do you have a cannonball from the Spanish-American
Right.
War?
Now, maybe that's what that guy was starting with, dude. He's like, gorillas are coming. I need a cannon. He's got a chance. That's the only motherfucker I know that's got a chance.
He was all messed up, and he's like, gorillas are coming for us. I got to get this cannon.
And if we think about it, like, let's be honest. You got guys like today, just your average old Joes, 100 of them. About the time the 10th one fucking gets its head ripped off, the other 90 you're like, yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
I mean, do you think that if you just bull rushed them, like all 100 people, like people are going to get trampled. You're going to kill people swarming this gorilla. But if all 100 people just jump on this thing, is there any possibility that you slow them down a little?
You might slow them down, but you mean to tell, like, this is where I'm at with it.
Because I'm with you.
Say 100 of you get on the silverback gorilla's back, okay? What are you hitting him? Like, what is your weapon, right? What is our weapon? Our fucking fists?
Just try to gouge his eyeballs out. That's all you got. Because their teeth are, their bite strength is unbelievable.
Right.
It'll rip your arm off if it just bites you.
Right. It'll just fuck guillotine whatever you fuck put in its mouth, right? Like, so, yeah, you're trying to fish hook his eyeballs. So what, maybe 2, maybe 3 of you got it? They're, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do we have to kill the fucking silverback? Nothing.
Yeah, unless you got a flamethrower, you're not doing anything.
Unless you fucking go full fucking Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with that motherfucker, you're fucked, dude. All right? Like, there's just no chance. I just don't get it. Like, this is flat earthers to me. Like, it just makes no sense, dude. I don't get where they're coming from. Have they never seen one? Like, dude, they're pure fucking muscle. And you got a true wild one. Maybe in a zoo, one that was born in a zoo and has known nothing but handed meat his whole life. Maybe 100 people have a chance. But if you backed a true, fully mature, wild silverback in a corner with 100 of you, and he knew it was fight or flight and his back's in the corner, he's only got one. Dude, he's going to kill 80 of you with 2 of you. He's going to have each of you in one hand and just beat the rest of you to fucking death with it. Dude, I'm telling you, there's not a chance. Not a chance. He'll swing a body until it comes apart and just pick up the next one. No way.
That's what I'm a Pitt State graduate, gorillas, baby. That's the coolest mascot, I feel.
It is a pretty cool mascot. And the fact that every time at every home football game they get to play Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah.
That's fucking
That was the coolest thing. We talked about Mike Leach on our unposted one, but
Yeah.
Mike Leach said, "Well, to me, the coolest has to be Pittsburgh State Gorillas," and then pitcher was the Gorillas too.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's others, but pitcher obviously named it after Pittsburgh State. But how cool! I mean, like whoever came up with that 110 years ago, they probably didn't even know what a gorilla was, but they were like, "That's what we need to be."
Yeah, it's cool. But yeah, and then like I said, that welcome to the jungle thing that's cool.
And he mentioned that too. He's like, when they just line up and they play "Welcome to the Jungle," the whole place goes wild. It was cool.
That's like I know like the obviously big schools, but when you get these small like 4-year schools like this, just the way the community buys into them, it's just a completely different atmosphere.
It's one thing that's pretty much been spared by the NIL transfer portal. Oh, well, not the transfer portal. I'm sure there's people that have transferred up and away.
Right.
But, you can't kill like a Pittsburgh, Kansas. They love Pittsburgh State.
Right. Like and obviously the big schools, but like the love for Pitt State would compete with like above. It's better than like NC State's.
Oh, absolutely.
Better than Stanford's. Like,
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The live or die.
Better than USC, I would even wager.
Oh, it is 100%. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so much smaller school, smaller community, but they'll get 10 times the turnout for a Pitt State game as they get for a USC game with 100th the population of the town. You know what I mean? Like it's just cool the way that works. Like the way people just buy into these small schools because it is all. It's all they got. There's no majors. There's no major no. You know what I mean? No big schools. Nobody. No professional. It's Pitt State. Maybe that's where we get to go watch Pitt State football. And they won the Division II title. It's been several years now, but they won it.
Yeah, I think it was like 2011
I
last
think
time.
that was when John Brown was there, or maybe right after him.
There's a guy I work with. He was a real stud in Pittsburgh when they were really badass. When Dennis Franchione was their head coach.
Yeah.
Gary Patterson was the defensive coordinator, and he left. He graduated the year before they won the national championship in '91, and they used to do battle with North Dakota State. North Dakota State was Division II back then.
Yeah.
So they always like every year it was like Pitt State, North Dakota State.
Yeah.
That was the semi or the national championship.
Yeah, because that John Brown that played in the NFL for a handful of years as a wide receiver, he got drafted straight out of Pitt State.
Yeah.
He didn't transfer. He got drafted out of Pitt State.
There was a guy, I met him. I don't remember what his name was. He didn't get drafted, but he got signed by the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
He was some white dude. He was a white dude. Played receiver. I'll tell you what, one thing that always bugs me when we were talking about the nicknames, how the Gorillas is the greatest. I think the only thing that was as good as Pitt State Gorillas, the North Dakota Fighting Sioux. And
That's a good one.
they made them take that away.
That's crazy. When you talk about names, you got to look up some, like, they're cool, but like minor league baseball teams, they got some cool ones. There's the Aardvarks,
Yeah.
the San Antonio Sod Poodles.
Yeah.
There's Prairie Dogs, but they call them Sod Poodles.
Wind Surge.
Wind Surge, that's a good one. But there's like some funny ones out there that are minor league, because like there's 1,000 minor league baseball teams, so everybody has to come up with their own name. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so they like stretched them.
What's that deal with they're like the banana slugs or whatever the hell they are? They're like play on stilts and it's
The
like a big
Savannah
circuit.
Bananas. or
Yeah, what
whatever.
is that?
It's like the Globetrotters of baseball, is basically what it is.
Would you ever try out? I bet you could be a Savannah banana.
No, I couldn't, because I wouldn't do the stupid shit they do.
I didn't. There was a 60 Minutes on. I didn't watch it, but anyway, I was thinking with the Fighting Sioux, how like great a homage to the tribe that brought the United States government to their knees, fought like tigers, and they lost overall. But that university says, you know what, we're going to honor them. We're going to name our flagship university the Fighting Sioux to honor them.
Right.
And then a bunch of white people from New York City sit there and they go, no, that's wrong. They have to be the whatever the hell they are now, the mean green or some shit.
Yeah, that's what pisses me off the most. Like, if it was truly natives, like, they were like, hey, if it was Sioux, distant relative, we're like, hey, man, we don't appreciate that. Like, we see it as disrespect or whatever. I'd be like, yeah, you got it. Like, hey, we'll change it right now, But it's all fucking people that have no right to have a say in it. They just want to be pissed the fuck off. It's just Karens that need something to be mad about this week. Like, that's what drives me nuts. Like, that's the worst of it all.
If I was a member of the Sioux tribe, I would have been pissed off when they did that. Because, I mean, I know it's not like big time college football. They're not on TV every weekend or whatever, but it'd be like, yeah,
That's for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same. Well, you see all the people, like, all the natives that got mad about the Redskin thing after they changed it. There was, I don't know, I'm sure it's gotten shut down by now, but there was a lawsuit by a bunch of Native Americans over that deal. Hey, that was a big deal to us. We enjoyed seeing one of us up there being represented. But they're like, no, it's racist. A bunch of white people were like, no, that's racist.
Yeah, a bunch of white liberals from New York City. They know best, I guess. Before we go, silverback gorilla versus a grizzly bear.
I still think to this day that the grizzly wins that.
Yeah, the grizzly is it's really incredible.
Polar bear would be the only thing because they're bigger and meaner. Like, they're just naturally mean. Like, grizzly's mean, but they say, I mean, I ain't fucking wrestled either one of them, but they say that the polar bear is naturally meaner. But when you got razor blades on your hands and the biting force of an alligator, dude, you're going to be pretty fucking tough to beat.
It'd be a hell of a fight to watch.
Yeah. But I do think just the claws alone on a grizzly bear make a huge difference. Like, again, it's the same argument us against a gorilla, right? Gorilla's strong enough to just pop her old noggin. But what does the gorilla bring against the grizzly? If they got hand to hand, well, grizzly's got,
Claws.
right. It's Wolverine. It's a regular human fighting a Wolverine. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like the superhero.
The gorilla would hurt it. It would do a couple things. It would bite or it would do something.
Right.
But yeah, grizzly bear.
Like, because even if he got him in a headlock, like you say, gets him in a headlock and he cut his arm off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm not saying the grizzly, it'd be a better fight than 100 versus gorilla. I'm not saying that. But the grizzly, there's too much there, man.
Yeah, it's always funny to me how the Coca-Cola commercials and then like the global warming, all those commercials when we were kids, remember, it was like, oh, these polar bears.
Right.
I'm like, dude, the polar bear is the most
They
evil
say
thing.
that's the most ferocious animal there is. Like, they say it's every bit as fearless and ferocious as like a honey badger, but
10 times.
2,500 fucking pounds.
Yeah, if you tried to hand a polar bear a Coke and wish it Merry Christmas, that would be your last Christmas.
That would be, you wouldn't make it to the next Christmas. That'd be it. That'd be all she wrote.
Well, good pod, man.
Hey, crushed him again.
Anything on your mind?
I think we pretty well covered it, man. Keith Stone, smooth as could be.
Yeah, wherever you are, Keith Stone. We need to get Keith Stone on the show.
Dude, get him.
Get him.
I like him. Have him bring a couple brewskis.
All right, y'all. You stay safe out there, and we'll
Wish
see you.
for rain.
See you next time.
Yes, sir.